Spoken word poetry, in its simplest definition, is poetry that is written on a page, but performed for an audience. But for those who know and love this art form, spoken word poetry is a catalyst for words that cannot breathe on paper alone.
I found spoken word probably on TV when they used to do the commercials about sex and drugs, and they used to try to get people to practice safe sex and not use drugs. That was before things became so censored.
My first experience with spoken word poetry was when the Asia Project came last year here at Piedmont. And that was my first exposure to it. It was the first time I knew about it, first time I ever heard of it. And I really enjoyed it, and I didn't know it could be such a passionate art.
I went to the spoken word workshop and saw KB giving us instructions on a lot of different things throughout the workshop, and then at the end she gave one of her own pieces and did a spoken word poem that she wrote when she graduated.
I don't know from whom, but I received and believed that life is for enjoyment. As much as it is about passing all my tests, Mom's success in its simplest form is being satisfied. Because I can go hungry all year and dress myself in filth, but still fight to feel self-fulfilled.
And it was so strong, and I just immediately felt like she was a different person and felt connected to that person in the spoken word. And it was amazing. I had never experienced anything like that. She was transformed right in front of our eyes into somebody else who we'd spent an hour with but didn't really know. And in that spoken word, we learned so much about her.
The goal of the Sweetwater Slam was to bring a spoken word poetry presence to Piedmont, engaging those who were already plugged into spoken word, but also those who had little to no knowledge of its existence, let alone its power.
I really loved Hillary's event because I love spoken word, and I was just so excited, and I didn't even know about it until like one of her classmates told me about it, and I was like, I'm so glad you told me, because they never do those events at Piedmont. They only did it once, and then they never came back.
The Sweetwater Slam event created a platform for Piedmont students who wanted to try their hand at the craft and be able to perform their original works in front of an audience.
In February of last year, my Wonder Woman was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. She used her Amazonian strength to fight, but in the months to come, I would walk in on her crying more times than I could count. I would wake up in the morning and hope with all of my cells I might add, that wish to take the cancer from her body and put it inside my very own. I would hope that today would be the day she would get out of bed, walk in the kitchen, and actually want to eat something. That small child inside of me would scream, superheroes can't actually cry. Superheroes are invincible. Moms can't cry. And I would slap that side of me so hard that she would shut up, and she hasn't really spoken to me since. My mother, who my whole life had taken care of me, now needed to be taken care of. So I slipped into her oversized costume and tried my best. It started by shaving my mother's head and moved to holding the bucket as she vomited out the liquid cancer cells that inhabited her body. It started by cooking dinner and cleaning house and taking care of siblings who could do nothing but watch because they weren't really taught how to handle themselves without a parent. My mother, who had always been my strength, was now pale and weak. She even tried to get her powers back, although chemotherapy is not the kind of radioactive accident that will give you strength, Mom.
You didn't call me back, so I thought I did a deed. But when I picked up the phone, I couldn't stop my hands from shaking, so I put it back down. All I wanted to say was hi, so that you knew I was still alive. Remember me? Your firstborn? The one you never wanted to put down when you carried parties because you were afraid someone would harm me. Mom told me the stories. There have been so many times when I just wanted to ask why. Why do you treat me the way that you do? Since I can remember, I've always made good grades. I've always chosen my friends wisely. and you still can't take me to get my driver's license. Well, it's too late for that now since you moved away.
Special guest and winner of Collaboration 2012 Atlanta, Kavy, joined the group as the final act of the night.
Ayo, chinky eyes, chopsticks, egg roll, karate kid. I thought I was all of it. That's all that they would call me, so I thought that was all of me. They told me my chinky eyes couldn't see, so I proceeded to live blindly. They teased my family tree, how its roots are Vietnamese, so I swept my parents' past behind me. Because it's their culture, not mine, right? Preserving culture, Mom, that's not tight. Because if it's your culture, why should I fight? I'm an American, Mom. Get your mind right. And that's what I wanted to be defined as. Because back then, American already meant high class. Being an American meant that I could bypass any Asian kid, get to the line last. And no, Mom, get away with that eyeglass, no, I wanted contacts. Stop talking about my eyesight. Can we talk about this boring brown hair? Can I please get highlights? And no, Mom, I don't care to watch another episode of Paris by Night. You can disapprove all you want, but I'm an American, Mom. I can exercise my rights. And then what do I have left now as an American but my 2020 hindsight? Kept thinking to myself, I didn't need a prescription, and now 12 years later, I'm finally able to see through your vision, to finally shut my mouth, to shut my American eyes, too proud to let my Vietnamese side live out loud. But I don't want you to get me wrong. I love what my parents have done, leaving their own nation, accepting this cultural amalgamation with no hesitation.
There is no limit to where spoken word poetry can take you. So don't be afraid to try something new. Stand up, speak out, find your inner wordsmith, and shake up your world.